Well, we're here. This is Robin Koda, and her family farm, Koda Farms, makes a rice that I have loved for a long time. I gave a sample of this rice to a friend of mine who actually imports 50-kilo bags of rice from Japan because he loves this particular rice, and he thought yours was better. I just thought you'd like to know that, and I told him he didn't have to import it anymore. But the rice, not only is it gluten-free, but their rice tests really well. It's an heirloom variety. It doesn't have the problems that sometimes people have with modern varieties of rice. So it just sits really well with people. It's one of the few grains that I encourage people to eat, and I don't have any problem with it. So you're here. I just wanted you to just say something. I'm really glad that your family has been doing this for all these years, and just wanted to thank you.
Well, thank you, Damien, for your support. And I'm sorry, can you just clarify, was that the brown or white rice you're referring to?
The brown.
The brown.
Yeah.
So, Damien talks about rice, ours being more digestible, more nutritious. What trend in rice breeding, modern day rice breeding, is to create cultivars that are fast maturing and high yielding, and what they're sacrificing absolutely is quality. Quality in flavor, quality in texture, mouthfeel, bouquet, everything. So Kokoho Rose, as grown by our family, is a proprietary strain that we developed in the 1950s specifically for our soil type and microclimate. So my family, my brother and I now farm as third-generation farmers down in the southwest corner of Merced County, and that's about the same latitude as Monterey, California. We're the southernmost located rice farm in California. We're isolated from the rest of the industry, and while those were handicaps for my grandfather back in the 1920s when he established our farm in that site, they actually ended up turning to be to our advantage now in modern day setting.
Yeah, so no one's really looked at rice the way they have, say, wheat, but that whole process that's happened with other grains where, green revolution, where they've been selecting for faster maturing, higher yielding varieties. It's great if you're trying to grow crops, but it's ended up being not so good for the people who are ultimately going to eat it. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why your rice is tolerated so well. It actually feeds people.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people think of rice as filler in the U.S. Obviously, in the Asian-based culture, rice is more significant, and that's, of course, my cultural ethnic background. I'm of Japanese descent. But yes, and the fact that GMO rice is now becoming more prevalent in California. I'm happy to report that California alone, to my knowledge to this date, is the only state in the U.S. to have banned GMO strains of rice for commercial cultivation.
Wow.
So while you may get lots of bland rice, generic rice in California, at least you can rest assured that it's not GMO.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Damien.
And we're going to have a link to their site, and I've sent people to their site, and people say, well, it just says they're out of stock. Robin tells me that you need to have a little persistence. You need to contact the contact information on the website and say, I want to buy your rice. How do I do it? And have a conversation, and you'll get some. Thank you.
Thank you, Damien. Thanks for your support, and thanks for